how from 2014 to 2022, a very small percentage of quarterbacks made up 15% of their team's entire salary cap. So in other words, during that 8-year period, a lot of guys who were quarterbacks weren't paid a ton of money, or the ones that were paid were the obvious elite quarterbacks. And what he's saying is what we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years is quarterbacks who are, as the kids say, mid, they're getting paid like elite quarterbacks. So if you have a quarterback that you like, but maybe he's not a Rodgers or a Burrow or a Mahomes, do you really want to pay him like those guys are getting paid? And this is what I always wonder. Mm-hmm. Of course, Brock Purdy can say, let's say Brock Purdy has another good year. Let's say they don't win it. I mean, of course, Brock Purdy's going to be able to say, well, what's Trevor Lawrence making? 55? I need more than that. All right, fair enough. You're better than Trevor Lawrence, but you're not better than Mahomes.
Okay.
And you might not be better than Burrow. So.
But you're winning more than those guys.
Okay.
So it's not a quarterback contest at the end of the day who can throw it the furthest.
But me. You have, I think one thing you have to do, and this isn't just for Brock Purdy, this is for when you pay a quarterback, you have to be so sure of that quarterback that you believe he'll be the reason, to me, why you're going to be mostly successful year in and year out.
I agree with that.
Right.
And I got real quick. Do you think the Niners, if they had to make that decision today on Brock Purdy, what their answer would be? Mine would be yes.
I agree. I think it would be yes. And I'm not saying that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, you look at a guy like Dak Prescott, and he's proven he's going to get you to the playoffs like every year.
And he's proven that to a lot, Steiny, he'll never win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I know that's not fair.
It's not fair because
but he's 2-5 in the playoffs. And I think it's a good bet from what I've seen.
Would you bet against John Elway?
Okay.
I mean, he was 7-7 in the postseason, and then he won 2 Super Bowls.
Steiny, when you watch those games and the teams he was on, it didn't. Helen Keller could see it wasn't his fault.
What about Matt Stafford?
But hey, he lost a playoff game to Dallas years ago that they got cheated out of.
Right, but he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but there weren't a lot of chokes in the playoffs for Matt Stafford. He was a byproduct of what was around him too. Like he wasn't going to the offs every year.
How old's Dak Prescott?
28, 20. I gotta look it up. Somewhere around there. Might even be 30, Steiny. But why? But, hey, again, I don't know how Brock Purdy, even Shaka, that's our guy. I just don't know what else right now you need to see. Kyle Shanahan is not getting Brock Purdy's paycheck. And if we're going to start saying the reason or nitpicking, the reason he's winning is because of this offense, well, call him lucky. He's in a good situation, but he's making the most of it. And all I'm saying, Steiny, is that Eagle lost in the championship game, he didn't even get a chance, okay? The Super Bowl, he brought him back against Green Bay, even though I said team-wide it was nasty. I didn't like the Niners offense. He did nothing to dispel what I was ready. I had my pen out of like, he's going to get stage fright. Steiny, he did pretty, would you say, fair for himself in the Super Bowl.
Who?
Brock Purdy.
Okay.
Right.
He was okay. Yeah, if Dak Prescott had put up that performance in the Super Bowl, you wouldn't be happy. I know that.
But I wouldn't say he was the reason they lost the game. Like I can say against Green Bay, against the Niners twice, against Jimmy.
I mean, to me, in a way, it doesn't matter. Like, well, he didn't lose you the game.
Dak's 31.
Okay, he didn't win you it either. So who cares if Brock didn't lose you the game.
He didn't turn it over. He didn't throw a pick six.
And how many of his 7 playoff games has Dak thrown a pick six?
Well, I know he threw one last year when they were down 27-0 to Savage. It's not even just about the pick sixes. He threw one to the Niners, threw that game away.
Detroit Lions with Stafford are the reason to blame. He was the Dak Prescott back in the day.
But now he's a Super Bowl champ.
Right. So Dak Prescott could be a Super Bowl champ.
With a different coach, you mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I see. I mean,
okay.
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I said, you gotta know Brock Purdy's going to make, if you're going to pay him $60 million, you better be sure that he's going to be a $60 million quarterback when he doesn't have the talent around him. And you said, people say, well, okay, but who's better than Brock Purdy right now? Nobody. In terms of quarterback in the Niners.
Oh, okay.
Ditto for the ditto for the Cowboys. I think you're glossing over.
Tell me.
The fact that, we'll just get another quarterback next year.
No, there's going to be a price to pay for that, partner, and maybe not. Maybe you put Cooper Rush there, you save your chicken, you spend it on other areas of your team, and you're more competitive, but you're still in the same boat if it's about championships. I just don't think Dak Prescott's new contract merits a 2-5 playoff record where he's been a culprit of bad performances on the biggest stage. To me, that doesn't merit that contract. Now, if you want to tell me 12-win seasons is the barometer, then okay, hey, we're different.
I think it is. I mean, look, that's what I'm getting at is Dak Prescott deserves more money than Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dak Prescott deserves more money than Jordan Love. I mean, to me, Dak Prescott, in a way, has proven that he's going to get you 12 wins.
Okay, what about this?
And I don't believe. I hate the term, but if you want to use it, I'll use it. I don't believe in once a choker, always a choker. I don't believe that.
I give you that.
I've seen the sports world is littered.
Andy
Reid
with
guys that we never think they'll win it. And then they win it, and then we go, okay, I might have been wrong. Well, okay, you just lost the Super Bowl by giving up a guy that you thought couldn't get it done.
Okay, I'll end it with this. If the Niners somehow get to the NFC Championship game, let's just say lose it, Steiny.
Okay.
They lose it.
Right.
Would you be mad at me if I said, Brock Purdy, I'm your agent, we're going to go get you the Dak deal? Because right now, after year 3, you have surpassed him in every category. You've been to a Super Bowl, multiple NFC Championship games. You can ask for that 231.
There's a difference.
I need to hear it.
Dak Prescott has been doing it for 9 years.
But doing what?
Getting his team to the playoffs.
And then what happens?
Successful.
And then what happens? Lemon booty.
According to you.
No, according to the numbers.
Okay.
2-5.
Okay. What about this year? What about if they go to the playoffs this year?
Okay, I got you.
But
I think I get the win because you are banking on 1 year, and I'm going on 8 years of what we've seen.
Well, that's my point. Is I think they look at Dak Prescott and they say, okay, yeah, he hasn't won the big one, but damn, we've been pretty good with him, and we made the playoffs, and we can continue to make the playoffs with him. The 49ers. I mean, I'm not taking this side.
Yeah.
But Brock Purdy has proven for 8 or 9 years that he's a good enough quarterback. What I say, Purdy? Yeah. Dak Prescott can get his team to the playoffs, and he's done it consistently.
But your bar
Purdy hasn't done it consistently. Yeah. And it's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault because he ain't been alive. He ain't been in the position to do it.
Right.
But right now, my MapQuest. My Brock Purdy, what do I use? Waze looks like it's going in that direction.
It looks like it, but Dak has done it for 8 years.
Okay, I'll say this. In 8 years, has Dak been to a championship game or a Super Bowl like Brock Purdy has in 2?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if you want to stop there, you can stop there.
That's why it's a TKO.
No, it's not a TKO. It's a guy who's had success early in his career. Maybe he won't have success later in his career. Maybe guys who don't have success early end up having success.
The Niners are going to have to make a decision to pay him before we get to year 6, 7.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And I think he's doing well for himself. Monday night, no McCaffrey.
Doing well now.
Yeah.
He's doing well now. I bet you loved Dak Prescott in year 2 and 3, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I was a believer.
Exactly. So I'm just saying there's no sure things, and like the fact that Dak got paid, what were their options?
I thought, real quick, Steiny, this is fascinating. Mahomes, you can't select. If I said right now you could take a current NFL quarterback, who would it be? Because Josh Allen's 5-5 in the playoffs. I'm not going to nitpick. He's 500 in the playoffs. 10 games, 5-5.
That's not bad.
Okay,
you do realize that, right?
I just gave you his stats. Okay. Who would you take? Right now, not Mahomes. He's not available. Who would you take right now?
Who would I take right now?
Because you guys are
Burrow.
gonna,
How about that?
Okay, you guys are going to laugh at me.
Okay.
And I mean what I'm saying to you. I would take Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Because I think he knows his job.
Right. And how was he viewed for 8 to 10 years of his career?
I got you. A lot of his signing was he had poison around
and
him.
he broke through. Maybe he broke through.
I got with a different coach and a different roster.
Yeah.
All
right. Danny in San Jose. Let's get it going, Danny. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. I just wanted to touch up what you guys were talking about, how Brock Purdy would get paid. I want to get your guys' aspect of, what if Brock Purdy in 6 weeks beats Patrick Mahomes and then goes to the Super Bowl and beats Patrick Mahomes again? So what's your guys' opinions on that?
I believe he's getting paid.
You guys taking my call.
Yeah, thank you. I believe he's getting paid if he lost both of those games. But my God, Steiny, another Super Bowl trip? You can answer. I'm cutting you off. I think he should know my answer by our conversation. Brock can lose those games and still get this contract. But my gosh, what if he won it? It would be a slam dunk, right?
I think the more I think about it, the more I'm realizing I think it's a slam dunk anyway.
That's all I'm saying.
But the reason is because they got nobody better. They got nobody better. And that's why when I look at the Prescott deal, it doesn't bother me.
Maybe that article, what's changed is teams are afraid of.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the whole article was about. How these GMs and executives are taking a bird in the hand that they have already. And for what? And again, I am not comparing Purdy to Daniel Jones at all. I'm just saying that Mike Sando's saying a lot of these mid-tier quarterbacks are getting elite quarterback money.
Right.
And you better know that this mid-quarterback will eventually become an elite quarterback. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
And I've been doing radio with you for 7 years. You tell me if I'm off here. You said, Goo, the worst place to be in sports.
Well, that's basketball. That's basketball.
Okay, all right.
That's the NBA.
Hey, I got you. It's the
Football's
middle.
different.
All right. I remembered.
Let's go to Thomas in San Ramon. Hey, Thomas, how you doing, man?
Good. Real quick, an interesting point about Stafford is he was the last first-round pick before the rookie wage scale got implemented, so he got a big bag the moment he got drafted, and they were already paying Calvin Johnson a big bag from his draft pick, so the Lions were pure poison because they'd already given all their money to the wide receiver and the quarterback due to the way the scale used to work.
Gotcha.
So they were screwed from the jump.
Gotcha. Thank
you.
Oh, okay. Appreciate it. All I'm saying is, okay, I'm looking at all the quarterbacks right now who make at least 16% of the salary cap.
Right.
So let's just call these guys well paid.
All right.
Daniel Jones.
Just horrific.
Just say yes or no.
No.
Derek Carr.
No.
Jalen Hurts.
I'm being honest. No.
Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Rodgers.
Yes.
Burrow, Mahomes.
Yes.
Cousins.
No.
Goff.
Yes.
Lawrence.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, it ain't over yet.
Tua and Dak.
No and no.
Okay, so basically of these 1, 2, 4, 8, 13 quarterbacks, about 6 of them you think deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm not
hating on the ones that got it.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
That's the way the system's set up. But I want to rip my mic out, Steiny. I just hate that a player or a team is afraid of maybe taking some steps back because they don't have anything.
So would you have not
in the refrigerator?
Would you have not paid Tua? I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is why it's really hard.
Right? They had no other option, right?
Yeah, and that's why I think it is hard. I don't know what I would do I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to pay Purdy. It looks like,
and that's a good right now. That should be. You should be
right
excited.
Right now,
Okay.
though. These deals can go sideways.
Right, but what if other facets of their team start to erode,
Exactly.
but you still get a great performance by your quarterback? That
you
can
know
happen.
that? Do you know that?
No, I'm saying if.
Right.
You would still feel good about that investment in Brock Purdy. You would never come in here and start to show off and say, hey, the Niners are really not doing well, or the quarterback regressed. That could happen.
He better not regress at $60 million.
Yeah.
Like, then it's a big, like, that's the other thing. If Brock Purdy, let's say, like, the minute he signs, everything changes. Would you agree with that? I don't care if you agree or not. I think that's a fact.
But the most important thing doesn't change. Ask me what that is.
What?
The Tulich and his head coach of Kyle Shanahan.
No doubt. But
that's crazy.
But
so he's in the best position.
His roster's going to change, though. Huh? Are you at all worried about that?
No, because I think the coach will make the changes necessary.
Okay.
And, you know what's crazy about this is it's so early. It looks like, what if we find out that what you have been professing over the last couple of months comes to fruition? If we find out the Niners still can beat teams' ass without McCaffrey, now hey, Goo, 2019 and 21, they did it without McCaffrey. Why are you so shocked? Because it's recency bias and he's so good. But why am I up here stunned driving home Monday that they did it without him when Kyle is a Jedi?
Okay, so I'll just take the other point of view. If he's a Jedi, then go get another quarterback you can go to a Super Bowl with.
My question to that would be why? Why would you go off something that's working? Because of the money?
Yeah.
But it's work. He's doing
right. It's working with him at this salary. You better be sure it works with him at big money.
Steiny, real quick before we go to the phones, does a team like the Philadelphia Eagles make you believe that actually you can retain your pieces? Like Jalen Hurts got his money, and they actually just signed A.J. Brown. They signed Devontae Smith, and they got him a better running back.
Like, I don't know their salary cap situation.
But I'm saying, like the idea that you're just going to lose all your weapons isn't necessarily true.
Well, let's just do it this way. It feels like the Niners are gearing up to lose Debo or Ayuk at the end of the year because of the salary cap issue.
I would say that's fair.
Obviously, if they can keep them all, great. And I'm not saying, well, if you're going to lose one of these guys, then don't sign Purdy. I'm just saying... Purdy, everything's going to change when he gets paid. That's all I'm saying.
As far as pressure and outside.
Hell yeah.
Going. Okay.
And you know what?
But what about on the field?
If they don't, let's say they get to the NFC Championship and don't win it, okay? And he gets paid $55-60.
I got something.
And then the year after that, they don't win it.
But what?
People will come down his road,
and then
big time.
But then
just
what
like
about
they do in Dallas with Prescott.
But you're saying Prescott getting you to the playoffs is suffice. Yeah. Why can't you use that metric for Brock if that's what he does for the next 6 years? Because he'll always have. I've been to the Super Bowl. I've been to multiple NFC Championship games.
Right.
If they just go to the playoffs, so why is it okay when you look at Dak? But if that happened to Brock, what would be different?
Because the Niners have gotten to a Super Bowl twice and an NFC Championship 4 times in the last 5 years. Well, and
I'll give you that.
Listen, all I'm saying is the 49ers don't win a Super Bowl this year. Here's what I'm saying. If the 49ers don't win a Super Bowl this year, Purdy gets his $55-60 million, and the Niners go 12-5 the next year and 12-5 the next year, but only win one playoff game, Purdy will get dragged exactly like Prescott.
Wow. I think Kyle will get dragged more than a youngster in year 4 or 5. That I really believe that. And I'm not caping for Brock. I'm just sick of what I'm watching with quarterbacks on Sunday, waiting for Brock to return to glass slippers. And I'm like, you know what, Goo? There are no slippers. The God he has calling plays and designing offense and using the wide zone for the run scheme or whatever it is, they're just – he can do it with multiple – I don't want to say average, Steiny. He's not a slave to one person or player. That's all. It looks that way to me.
888-957-9570 is the number. Let's bring in Austin in San Jose. What's up, Austin? How you doing, man?
Hey, fellas, love the conversation. There's layers to this. Guru, I don't know why you're attacking or putting down your boy Dak, man. Dak's a hell of a quarterback. I know he hasn't necessarily won the big ones. I would say Lamar is kind of getting the same criticism from, the one guy gets to win the Super Bowl. I mean, and I think Steiny's point is the guys have done it over multiple years. I think that, hey, let's give Brock his flowers. I don't think anybody can take anything away from him.
Okay.
I'm not a huge Brock fan, but that's just me. But I also have to respect the fact the guy's got you there twice. And so now to the point of whether he's worth the money that everybody else is getting, I think here's where it gets more complicated because every team is different. You can't say that just because Lawrence got paid or Dak got paid in their situations necessarily Brock should get paid. And the reason why is because the Niners are built differently. As Steiny's kind of said, they've got players around them that they've highly paid. And I think everybody loves Brock now. His salary, he's a darling because he's being paid nothing, essentially, and he's going to get paid a lot of money going forward. The question is, Guru, are you going to love him as much, or Niner fans going to love him as much once they give him 40 or 50 million and he has to go out there every Sunday? Is he still going to be the darling if he doesn't perform? So I think there is something we got to see. I don't think we should say he necessarily should get the money because all these other guys are getting it. And I've actually gone after Willard about this. He seems to think it's already done. I'm more with Steiny. I think we got to see what he does this year. We got to see how the Niners actually view him. I would actually say, lastly, based on the Niners lineup right now, you could argue that they could bring in another quarterback of mid-level kind of talent to run that and keep the guys they have versus overpaying Brock and then having to get rid of somebody. You could argue either approach could get them to the Super Bowl. So that's all I got, guys.
Appreciate the call.
Good stuff, Austin. Appreciate the call.
And
that's a fascinating conversation.
No doubt.
To me.
Yeah, no doubt. And can I just add this to his point? Just last thing about Dak. It's an era. It's almost a decade of 2-5 bad performances in the playoffs. I'll leave that alone. But when you call, and we've talked about, forget shortstop in baseball because I used to think it was that. The most important position in sports is the quarterback. But now we're starting to do algebra and calculus with the Niners saying we could sub out a good quarterback who's good in this system and just go find one. And when you just talked about the importance and how hard and how scared these teams are of trying to go find a quarterback that's efficient, why would you sub out Brock? And I'm asking you because of the greatness of Kyle.
Why would you sub out Dak?
Because he hasn't gotten you
do you realize he's 74-40 in the regular season?
Yes, I do. And what's his playoff record, Steiny?
I guess it's 2-5.
Yes, it is.